Now we're going to cover a quick overview on keypad operation. When you turn on the machine, you'll see a screen showing starting and the firmware version V3014. Then it goes to the main menu. So in this main menu you can see a black rectangle. This is called a cursor, as you know. So for moving the cursor inside the screen, you can move left and right arrow keys. So in any place, if you want to change the value, you can use up and down arrow keys. If you press escape and make this cursor disappear, then whenever you press this up and down and left and right arrow keys, you're gonna move your laser head. So this is how you move your laser head. And if you want to go back to the main menu, you can press escape again, or you press menu and press escape, and it goes back to main menu with the cursor on. That makes you able to just go through the main menu instead of moving the laser head. Alright, so we have a reset button here. Reset button is basically for resetting the laser head when it is in XY mode, and for autofocusing when you are in Z-axis mode. In either case, before pressing the reset, it's same like you're turning on the machine for the first time. In the XY mode, when you press the reset, you move the laser head wherever it is to the home position. So just you should be careful that there is no object on the working table hitting the laser head. We have a laser button. Laser button is for testing the laser beam. When you press the laser button, you will release a laser beam for a certain timing based on the setting you have in the menu. The stop button stops the processing wherever it is in the middle, and when you press stop and stop the processing, you can't start over, or you can't continue processing from wherever it is. And the only option is you start over from the start and from the beginning. The test will give you the ability to just trace the working area required for that laser processing. And will start your process, and while the process is running, if you press the same button, it gives you pause effect. That means it is stopped in the middle, and if you press the button again, you can continue the processing from wherever it was. And escape helps you to go through different parts of the menu. Alright. So on the screen you will see the file name. This is actually the different laser processing file you stored already in the machine. If you want to go through different file name in the same position when the cursor is on, you can press up and down, you can go through different file name. The speed percentage, this is a percentage of the speed based on the speed you set in the file. So that means as far as you keep this 100%, you will have the same speed setting you set it in the file. If you set 50%, you will have 50%. But if you change this 100% to suppose 50%, and you had also 50% in your setting file, then the total speed will be 25%. The same thing is for the power. The first percentage is for the main power, second is for the corner power, and also for engraving power. So you can change the percentage of power and speed here, but we not advise you to do that, and we just advise you to always change the speed in the file instead of changing this percentage. Pieces, number of pieces, is you can increase the number of pieces, but again, this is not the right way to do it. It's, to have more control, you can check, you can duplicate your pieces in different areas, or you just change the number of processing time in your software. And this delete, if you bring your cursor to delete and press enter, you will delete the same file name you see from here, from the memory. Alright, so we have another menu here, that when you press menu, you will go to another menu, cut contour. It's just cutting the contour or the area of the whole image or processing file. It's not a useful tool. We don't advise you to use it. So, but just to let you know, laser set is the setting we use for laser button. If you remember, this laser button is for testing the laser. So if you press enter on this, you will see a time and the percentage. That's where I adjust the shooting time for laser test. If I put any value here and I press laser, it doesn't matter how long I keep a laser button pressed, it just releases the laser shoot for that certain timing. But if I change this value to 0, then as long as I keep the laser button pressed, the laser beams just continue shooting. And again, this is a percentage of a power you can use for testing purpose. Going back, press escape. Jog set. You can set some distance for jogging. When you move the laser head by these arrow keys, that's what we call jogging. As long as I keep it 0, so it will be same effect as a laser button. That means as long as I keep the arrow keys pressed, the laser head moves, and when I remove it, it stops. But if I give some value on this, it doesn't matter how long I keep this button left and right, it just, or up and down, it just moves for that certain distance and it stops. That's called a step jogging. And that's where you can adjust the step jogging distance. So the last one is language, which is either Chinese or English, which is usually is English. And then again, pressing menu goes to alarm time, which is the same beeping time when some things happen in status of the machine. And screen protect, when you turn it on, the screen goes off after a while. Again, escape. Okay, there is one more thing that we have another menu here. When the cursor is on the file name, if you press enter, you will enter to set logic origin screen. Logic origin, we will go through it in more operation details later on, but when you set the logic, when you want to set the logic origin, you bring your laser head to that origin certain point which you want to set it as logic origin, and then press yes. Press enter on yes. And when you want to cancel that, just press yes on cancel origin. Alright, so this is just a quick overview on XY mode on operation, on keypad operation. We have another mode which we call it Z-axis mode. Z-axis mode is where you want to put, where you want to change the height, the table height, or do auto-focusing procedure. So just remember, before going to the Z-axis mode, you need to bring your laser head somewhere on the top of the material or anywhere in the middle of the table. So that's for keeping your laser head from any damage in case the laser, in case the working table starts to rise or changing the height. So for that reason, I just press escape, move the laser head somewhere safe, and then from here, when I press Z, it goes to Z-axis operate. As long as Z-axis operate is there, when I press up and down arrow key, I can move the working table. And when I press reset, I can do the autofocus. This is again very, very important. Then when you are on Z-axis operate, do not press reset until you make sure that the laser head is on top of your material, and the laser probe also, especially the laser probe, is on top of the surface of the material in a way that when the laser, when the working table moves up, it just moves the material towards the laser probe. If there were no object under the laser probe, pressing reset will damage your laser probe, your autofocus probe. And again, this is very important. Pressing this reset while in the Z-axis operate is just very, very important to take care of the position of the autofocus probe. So in case you want to go out of the Z-axis operate, we can just press Z button and it goes to XY or screen mode. Again, screen mode is when the cursor, the black cursor is on, is on, and XY mode is when the cursor is off and you can move the laser head by arrow keys.